I'm excited about humanizing spirituality, humanizing religion, bringing some real reality to what I believe has just been twisted and just shifted throughout the years. But I remember reading in the Bible that, you know, Jesus went everywhere to get the people. He went everywhere to get the people. And I feel like what's happening nowadays is that everybody want to be so judgmental. Everybody want to be so boxed in. Nobody wants to face reality that pastors are still people. Evangelists are still people. You understand? Prophets are still people. First ladies are still people. You understand? Elders and ushers are still people. And that's what I want to do tonight. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm excited about humanizing the religion again. And I mean, I know that, you know, Dr. Jamal Bryant didn't know where I was going to go tonight, but I believe that he trusts me enough to know that I'm a real person out here really making things happen for the culture. And he knows that, you know, it was called Candid Conversations. As a matter of fact, it was called Candid Conversations because that's what tonight is about. And what you guys are going to experience tonight is rare form conversation, because we're always so critical on one another. We're always so judgmental on one another. But I read that God at the end of the day, he is the only one that could be held to final judgment. He's the only one that really could judge us. And one thing that I've learned is that there's so many of us that want to go to church. We want to go to church, but we're afraid. We're afraid to be judged. We're afraid to be criticized. We're afraid that we're not going to feel comfortable. But I am so grateful to say to you guys that the pastor that I'm going to bring forth tonight, honestly, is the realest, straight up. I mean, I was a member of Empowerment Temple. I remember when I used to fly, guys. I used to fly from wherever I was in the world because I needed the word from Dr. Jamal Bryant. The way he broke down scripture, he made me understand. And I would go to churches thriving for a word. I wanted to hear a message. I don't know if y'all can understand what I'm saying right now, but drop some fire if this is making sense. I wanted to hear a message that resonated with my soul, that I could hear the message, interpret the message, understand the message, and become the message. That's what I wanted. I didn't want to feel like I was being churchy or trying to be what the world wanted me to be. As a matter of fact, I know that none of us are perfect. We're all growing. And that is the beauty of life, that we all, for real, are growing. At the end of the day, we're growing. But the beautiful thing I believe that's so amazing is that God gives gifts without repentance. And he allows us, he forgives us over and over and over and over and over again. Write this down. Man may judge, but God forgives. Man may judge, but God forgives. And I just want everybody on this call tonight, before we even bring on Dr. Jamal Bryant, if you've been that person that judged somebody in the last 24 hours of your life, you could have judged somebody because you saw yourself in that person. As a matter of fact, I've learned that whatever you judge is because you see yourself in that. And so if you need to forgive yourself for judging somebody else and you're wondering why you've been held to so much judgment, it's because you judge. But judge not, so therefore you will not be judged. And so, guys, I got some questions for Dr. Jamal Bryant. I'm excited about tonight for Dr. Jamal Bryant. I really hope that each respect this call tonight. Know that he know I'm not no church folk. First of all, I'm really grateful to be on this call. You know, one of the reasons why I'm grateful. Hello, Pastor. How you doing?
Hey. Hey, sis. How are you?
I'm fabulous. Before I bring you on, I just want to tell you, like, it makes me very, very proud to be on here with you. I was running around my house telling my brother and my housekeeper and my driver and everybody in my house that tonight's a big deal, because a lot of people in my house don't know you. Right. They don't even know who you are. And my people are very spiritual. We're very aware. We love God. We know God is within us. We believe in God, but we have not been able to really go anywhere that we feel and hear a message that resonates with us without feeling judged, condemned. And I played a couple of your videos today, and my whole house got excited. They was like, now we understand that you are listening to somebody that allows you to be yourself, but he's still able to transform you. And I want to tell you, I never get familiar with you. Sometimes I wish I could get on a plane every Sunday. I have not been to church since I came to New Birth.
Right.
I have not been to church since I've been to New Birth.
Wow.
Because every time I try to go to a church, I just don't feel it. It's like, what happened to the church? It don't feel the same. So, I mean, I know that there's a lot of people on here that's been in high anticipation. I got some people that want to ask you some questions. But I mean, before we go into more about you, I don't know if you know what we feel like out here, because you were behind the pulpit every Sunday and Wednesday and all the time. Right. But do you feel, or do you hear that the church doesn't feel the same?
Oh, no, I am. First, let me say thank you. And let me say to all of you that me and Stormy are not new to this. We're true to it. We have been in and out of each other's lives, believe it or not, Stormy, going on 12 years. So I have seen your rise and how it is that you have been consistent. But I think that part of the church is that the church's problem is they really don't believe in transformation. They want people to come already there. People like Paul, but forget that he was Saul. They forget that Jesus hung with people that had switchblades and people who would curse people out and people who had slow tempers. So many churches talking about they want to win the world, but don't want to go into the world. And so let me first say thank you for inviting me onto your platform and giving me an opportunity to represent the gospel to people who do not go to a physical church, but love God. It is for this reason, I really believe, Stormy, a lot of churches have grown in the pandemic and they don't know why. People are watching church more in COVID than they did pre-COVID. Why? Because when I watch church online, I don't have to worry about what I'm wearing. I ain't got to worry about no tattoos. I ain't got to worry about that. I don't know the songs that the choir is singing, that I don't know the scripture, but I can have it in my home. My heart was so heavy today because people, without knowing anything, ran over the cliff without a parachute. This is wrong. This ain't right. And this is the reason why God sent us. The gospel is controversial. The gospel is never conformative. It is supposed to be a place that it raises the standard while challenging the culture. So for you to put me on a stage with Rick Ross, and I need to hear this. I didn't even talk to you right now, Storm. I'm talking to church people. There is other stage that I would have ever been on with Rick Ross had you not provided it. So one of the main influencers of a culture and a generation, you give me an opportunity to do that. TBN ain't gonna do that. The Word Network ain't gonna do that. You are making the gospel relatable to a generation who has given up on church, given up on God. And so thank you. You are what I want to call a marketplace minister. A marketplace minister is somebody who represents the gospel, but they don't have to wear a clergy collar. They're not walking around with a cross on, if they are not consumed with a title position. And so you have opened an amazing door for ministry for me. And so I wanted to say thank you for not just opening up this stage, but really not even being a friend, but being a sister to me through these years. And I want to publicly tell you, I appreciate you and I celebrate the success, let me say this, that God gave you. The success, not the grind, not the hustle. God could have chose anybody. He saw something in you that says, when I elevate Stormy, she's not going to forget who did it. A whole lot of people y'all look up to, y'all admire, they got blue checks, never give space for the gospel. And so I want to thank you for doing that.
Wow. Thank you so much. I mean, you said a lot. And I ask myself every day, like, how do I deal with the controversy, the hate, the love, the backlash, the betrayal, the just all what it takes to be Stormy? And I feel like God has purposed me to be able to handle the things that I'm able to handle.
You were with, just 2 days ago, you were with one of the foremost coaches and trainers in the world, John Maxwell. And what a lot of people don't know is John Maxwell used to be a pastor. And John Maxwell said something, Stormy, that I take to heart. He said, if you want to be liked, sell ice cream. Other than that, if you're going to make a difference, have an impact on people's lives, then you got to stand in the place of controversy. And so you've been able to do it in an amazing way.
Thank you. And I could do it because I don't have a title.
Yeah.
I'm not a pastor. I'm not anything but Stormy Wellington, who made something of myself. And I dropped out of school in the 9th grade. You know, many of you all may know my story already. I had 2 kids by the time I was 19. You know, I was in a strip club as a dancer. I was a schemer, a scammer. I wrote checks. I was on food stamps. I was on Section 8. I was on WIC. You know, I was blessed to be able to tell this week. I was able to tell John C. Maxwell, Brandon, who's worth over 100 million. His company did over 75 million last year. He runs over 180 companies. I was able to teach him what Section 8 was. He thought Section 8 was a street in the section of a boulevard. I mean, listen, they never heard of WIC before. And I found joy and pride in teaching them what Section 8 and what WIC was. And that where I come from, you brag that you got your Section 8 voucher. You brag that you had Section 8, a boyfriend, and WIC. That was bragging rights. And I decided, you know, 13 years ago to give that back because I wanted to break the generational curse off my family. And I watched these white men and these white people at a table with tears in their eyes saying that I could have never done what you've done. I felt like, you know, being in that room, being able to represent the culture, but not coming from a victim mentality, but coming from a victor mentality, I felt proud. And knowing that I was doing this call with you today, what made me excited is that I feel like you have the titles, you are held to a higher standard because of your titles, because of your mantle, because of what you represent. So you can't do nothing without people judging you and trying to crucify you. But I want to know, like, how do you survive all of the things that people say and do to you? And how do you survive the people that come to church and they love you one Sunday and then they hate you the next Sunday and then you go back and preach and they come back and like, I want to know, like, how do you do that?
One time, Stormy, I was in a very dark place. I had hit rock bottom, was fighting through depression, and really felt like I was losing it. And my dad called me, and I told him what was going on. And he says, "Oh, you doing it for the people." I said, "What you mean?" He said, "If you get to a place where you are finding yourself in the applause of people, you are not an empowerer, you are an entertainer. It is only an entertainer."
Oh, can you say that one more time? That was so,
Yes.
just slow it down one more time.
Yes, sir. If you are doing it for the applause of people, you are not an empowerer, you are an entertainer. Wow. It's entertainers that need to look at ticket sales, need to look at album sales. An empowerer is somebody who's got to look at life change and transformation. That's why social media has thrown a whole lot of people off, because they have found their identity in other people's likes. But here's the news flash. If you're waiting for likes, you don't like yourself. If you taking it down because it ain't getting the response that you wanted, then you are living for affirmation. I always tell the story, Stormy. I went to Whitney Houston's funeral in New Jersey, and Kevin Costner gave the best speech of the whole funeral. He talked about how Whitney Houston came in to audition for The Preacher's Wife, came out, Stormy, and got nauseous and said, "Excuse me," and ran back to the trailer. Came out again, kept messing up, fumbling on the lines, ran back to the trailer. Kevin Costner, who's directing the film, producing the film, said to everybody on the set, "Hey, y'all, hold on a minute. Shut all this down." He went, Stormy, and knocked on Whitney Houston's trailer, grabbed her by her shoulders, and said, "You are messing this up. I already know you can't act. I know you ain't never done no movie, but you already got it. I chose you knowing you weren't experienced." And a whole lot of people got to understand, stop auditioning for a role you already have. Stop trying to impress people who cannot place you. You got to get to a place where you understand it's for an audience of one. And from that, we know that she went on to do 3 other films, but she was chosen with no experience. And that's what God does. You don't have, Stormy, a degree in marketing. You don't have no MBA. You got a God-given gift that God ordained. People are coming in at this point and not knowing this ain't the first company you were with. You walked away from stuff on faith with people like, you crazy.
Yes, God,
You,
yes.
you can't leave now. And you had the faith that a lot of believers don't have. That if God helped me to be successful over there, he can help me be successful over here. So you found out that it was not the product, it was the person. And a lot of you don't even understand you are undervaluing yourself because you're waiting for somebody else to validate you. You're waiting for somebody else to get to you for where it is that you are. We sing stuff we don't mean. He looked beyond all my faults and saw me at my needs. Are you really prepared to embrace that? What Stormy said in 5 minutes about dropping out of school in the 9th grade, living off WIC, scamming, doing all of that. Well, she ain't going to tell you, and I hope she don't get mad at me telling her, she was flying into Baltimore and was the lead tither at my church. And she had no office, had no title. And I would have never said that while we were still in Baltimore, but we ain't there no more.
I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, no. And I'm telling you that when it is that you do it from the heart, you don't do it from the accolades. So someone tell you, I wasn't calling her name over no microphone. We ain't ever give her no plaque. I ain't give her no position at the church because I knew where her heart was.
Wow.
And I'm telling you, when you don't have ulterior motives, when you don't do it with strings attached, that's when God can trust you. You got to be at that place. And I really believe that where God is positioning you now, is it 1,000 or 1 million families? What we going for?
It impact 1 million, but it's 1,000 families.
1,000 families who are going to make a complete change of their life. And I'm believing, Stormy, that God's going to do that and exceed that just because you have the faith that a whole lot of people in their selfishness are aiming for one family, and that one family is theirs. Jesus said, go make disciples. The evidence of your success is if you can replicate yourself.
Oh, you better
John
say
Maxwell.
that again.
Yeah, the evidence of your success is if you can replicate yourself. John Maxwell, I was so jealous of you the other day. I want to
You
get
ever
to
met
that
you
table.
ever met him?
Never.
Let me
Never.
at a private luncheon with him. I got favor and was invited to come to a $25,000 mastermind. It was me and 2 other Black people in the room, not about color, but the information that I gained, the knowledge that I acquired, like it is going to take me higher. I learned things that when I say I'm going to do $60 million this year, like it's going to happen because I was in a room with people that already are at 60 million, 100 million, billion-dollar corporation owners was in the same room as myself. And when they text me, when Natalie and Brandon text me and say, hey, when you see us get up, walk with us to lunch, we want you to come with us to lunch. I'm thinking it's going to be a group, and I was one of. I was the only one. I was the one at the seat. It's me and John C. Maxwell sitting across from me. And in that moment, I was a little nervous because what do you say to somebody that you've been reading his book since you were 16 and you knew you manifested this moment and you don't want to say the wrong things because you don't want him to look at you crazy, but he just trained on a whole training called failure and success go together.
That's right.
So he said you're supposed to talk about failure and success in the same sentence. You never talk about failure and don't talk about success if it ain't in the same sentence.
John Kennedy said something crazy, Stormy. John Kennedy said this, I'm going to give it to you for free. John Kennedy said, if you want to see a great success, look for a great failure. Because anybody who is successful had to fail first. And most people only talk about their successes and never talk about their failure. You opened up this, not talking about everything you have, but talking about everything you had to fight through. And that's where many people miss it. They want to do a whole remix. They do a plastic surgery on their history. and manipulate what it is that they've been through. You've got to be forthcoming, because when you don't talk about your failure, you're robbing God of his glory. I better say that again. When you don't talk about your failure, you are robbing God of his glory. You got to have
Wow.
one of those but God moments to say, this is the only way that I got here, and this is the only way that I'm standing.
Wow. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Because, you know, in that moment, I honestly thought about the entire culture. I felt like I'm doing it big for the culture. I felt like I was able to educate someone who has impacted a lot of us on who we are. And he
Yeah.
literally said to me, I was already, born into third base. He literally said, I could have not done what you've been able to do with the card that you were dealt. He said, I came into life at third base. And he said,
Wow.
you young lady, I know that you admire me. He said, but I admire you. And I said, listen, I have a community called Girl Hold My Hand. I started to talk to him about my business accolades. I shared with him that I got my start in network marketing. And you don't know this, Pastor. Let me bring you up to speed, sir. I got my
Thank you.
start in network marketing. Okay. I just
Yes.
opened up my 1099. I did 8 million last year in one business, by the way. It's called
Wow.
over 8 million last year selling these nutritional supplements. Okay. But
Wow.
I have taken my money. I invested $5 million in a bank with Grant Cardone. So I am a proud Black woman owner of the
Wow.
UBS Bank. Tomorrow
Wow.
is my ribbon. Tomorrow is my ribbon cutting, where I'm cutting the ribbon to my office on the 6th floor that I share with a credit union. I make 30 to 40,000 a month on my own building, and I'm renting for myself in a bank. The very bank that I used to go do fraud from, I now own a bank. And I own Iberia. I am an owner of the Iberia Bank building as well, right across the street in Aventura. So I got my money all in the energy of the wealthy folks. You talking about wealth transfer. You talking about, money coming over here, So I taken that, I did that. So I'm in real estate. I own 2 houses free and clear. I'm about to buy my 3rd house on 3 acres. I have 3 books that I've written. I have my show premiering on March 17th on Lifetime. Okay, it's called $1 Million Hustle. I also have my own skincare line, so I don't wear makeup and all that stuff. I have my own skincare line. Hold on, let me give it to you now. I have my own CBD line. Okay, I'm about 35 days away from launching my own lip gloss company. So I'm on to all things billion. I want to be the picture perfect example of what the culture has to do. And I read books and listen to audio books every day. I invest at least $250,000 a year in my mind. I got pocketbooks and all that stuff. I got diamonds because I buy things that appreciate over time. I put money where it matters. So therefore, I'm able to leave a legacy. I have fine art. I have things that appreciate. And I do everything that they say we can't do and we're not supposed to do.
Yeah.
I do it because it gives me gratification internally. Like it makes me feel good. It makes me feel like it's nothing that we can't do. If a girl like me who dropped out of school in the 9th grade can become this woman, and I got 34 millionaires, then anybody can do it. And so to be able to partner with people like you, to me, there are people right now that's watching that would have never been able to see me if it wasn't for you. There are people that's going to be able to meet you and hear a word from you and look at the church differently, when you come to the awakening, and even after tonight, that probably was not going to church, but now they want to know, how can they listen to you on Sunday? And they've been looking for a place to pay their tithes at too. So now I feel like what we got to start doing is that we got to move from a place of appreciation, our expectation. We got to start appreciating each other's networks and what value we can add to each other. And I think the unfortunate thing for us is that we cannot be afraid of each other. I'm in a group right now of people that, they say to me all the time, Stormy, we need you to succeed. Because when you succeed, you make us look good. And then you got more money to invest. I'm about to invest I'm about to buy my own plane. And I'm a charter.
Come pick me up.
I'm trying to tell you, I got places to go. What's $50,000 to $100,000 a month for me to charter my own plane? I could go to 2 cities in one day and be in my own bed at night and be able to do what I was called to do and feel fulfilled. Hold on one second. Hold on one second, Pastor. Let me change the Wi-Fi. Hold on. Okay, so I just know that there's too many people that are afraid, and I hate to see how afraid the culture is. And I think that when people like you and I step outside of what's normal, what's familiar,
Right.
I think we give other unordinary people an opportunity to have extraordinary results. And so my goal is to continue to collaborate with people that would have never seen me. Like if I would not have went to GrowthCon, if I would not have spoken at 10X Ladies, these white women, listen, I got white women, Asian, you know, different Norwegian people that go crazy, people from Spain, that I used to think that my message was for the Black community. And I realized that my message is for humanity. I'm just a Black woman.
I love all of it.
You get what I'm saying? So my goal is to continue getting into different demographics, educating people on the Black culture, proving to the Black culture that we don't have to end how we started, proving to the Black culture that it is our responsibility to break generational curses. You know, like the last time you came to the awakening, it was real kind of like bootleg. And I know you don't have no idea what you're about to walk into, but we have taken a weekend. It's called Girl Hold My Hand Weekend. You come to the event in the awakening, you leave in a rebirth. We have taken everything that you could think of and put it into a 2-day weekend, really a 3-day weekend. So Friday, right? At least 19 women come to my event suicidal. 19. At least.
Wow.
And when they walk in, they got their Birkins, their Chanel, their Rolexes, their weaves. You would never know that the woman that's in front of the room on Sunday was suicidal 3 days ago. She literally wrote a letter saying what she was going to do to herself. And this weekend literally gave her the confidence and the belief to live again. These women, Pastor, come to the event, one complexion, and they leave lighter. When you are depressed and unhappy, your skin complexion is dark. For real. That's why they say, you know, I trained on the God formula. You got to come out of the dark and into the light because you were the darkness on your complexion. These women come dark and they leave 3-4 shades lighter because the circulation was off. The energy was cut off. Their love, their confidence for themselves was cut off. And you would never know. So that happens on Friday. I got a male panel. I got some.
Stormy, let me pause you right there.
Come on.
To tell you that that's true. Is that so that you all know this is not my first time partnering with Stormy at one of her events. She had an event a couple of years ago, and I walk into the event. She had me to speak, and I pulled her aside and said, Stormy, there's a lady in here who is a high-powered attorney. You got to connect with her. Stormy said, bruh, I know who that is. She getting ready to fall apart. I don't need her. She need me. I was just looking at what the pedigree was on paper and had no idea that a transformation of ministry was really taking place. It's so critical. When you finish, I'm gonna let you get to the weekend of what's taking place because everybody needs to be a part of it. But there are 2 points when you are finished. We got to go back to unpack because I can't let you skate by too fast. But go through what's happening in the rest of the 2 days.
So yeah, thank you. So these talk. So I don't know this, right? But there's a lot of successful, single, beautiful women. They're beautiful. They're sexy. They're charismatic. They're God-fearing. They're powerful. All of these things. But they can't get no man. There's a lot of women that's coming to my event that I have at least 10 millionaires or multimillionaire women come to my event. And we got questions. We want to understand, like, we think y'all want one thing when y'all really want, let me go into another room. We think y'all want one thing when y'all really want something else. So one of the things that we're doing on Friday, hold on one second. One of the things we're doing on Friday is we're going to have a male panel at Pillow Talk. And women are going to be able to ask men such as yourself, like, what is it that y'all want? Because we don't know. Hold on, let me see now. My Wi-Fi, no. Okay, how is it? Can y'all see? Yeah, we want to know what y'all want. Because we think y'all want one thing and it's not that. And then let me tell you one of the things I hear a lot from women. Women say, He leave me, I got everything, and he go to the needy woman. And I learned this weekend that men don't want you to be needy, but men want to be needed and wanted. But we as women, the successful women, think that us acting like we don't need y'all makes y'all want us. So things like that, a lot of women don't know how to operate with a man. And then a lot of women go to men that not looking for love, but they're looking for help. So now the woman got into a whole relationship with a man that can't even love her properly. He just wants a roof over his head and he want to drive her car and borrow some money. So that happens on Friday. So a breakthrough happens on Friday because 99% of the women that are suicidal, Pastor, they suicidal because something a man did. A man hurt him, a man used him, a man betrayed him, a man left him with a baby. So for real, it is very serious on Friday. We call it pillow talk. We make it sexy. You know, it's a sexy environment. But these are prominent women that come to these events. These are not your little rinky dink. No, these are women who own mortgage companies and credit companies and car lots and real estate, but they don't know what does a man really want and how to be a woman and how to know to tap in and out of her different personalities to be for her man. So that's a big night, and I want you to know, like, the panel is crazy. I have so many men, I can't even say the names that's coming, but they're coming to impact. And just say this, I'm gonna say this, you and it's another male pastor that's coming, and it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be great to hear y'all perspectives and from Proverbs 31 virtuous woman perspective. Is that what y'all want? Because I think that's another issue. I ain't gonna go, you know, women think that because you're a pastor that you don't want a sexy woman. So I got to ask you a question, like talking about Friday and pillow talk. You're single. Yes. You are very attractive. You're successful. You got everything. Why are you single?
You asking me now?
Yeah. Give us a little sneak peek. Why are you single?
I think, Stormy, you done jumped me from the back.
Come on. Come on. Listen. Come on. Yeah. Listen. This is one we want to know. Like, and I want, and maybe you don't know this. You are charismatic. You are God fearing. Yeah. We see how you are a great father. So we know that you know how to be a father. You are attractive. You know how to dress. Yeah. You have connections. You ain't broke. Like you a good catch. Yeah. Well, what's up? Why you ain't got no woman?
Okay, let me spin this for just one moment because I feel like my mother has paid you for this. I feel like my mother done pushed you on it. Is that, let me first go back to the pillow talk and say a lot of times, women, it is not you, it is the man. Yeah. So Genesis, when God creates the man, he gives him dominion, he gives him authority, he gives him power. Watch this, Stormy. He gives him a place to live. He gives him identity. And then says, this man should not be alone. He didn't say all men should not be alone. The men who should not be alone are men who know themselves, know what their authority is, know what their assignment is, and know where they're going to live. Eve was not responsible to bring anything to the table. So this whole notion of what do you bring to the table does not fall in line with biblical record. Me, here it is I have made so many terrible relationship mistakes and decisions that at this point I am dealing with a strain because, Stormy, I don't have the testimony of you. My parents been married for 53 years. My grandparents were married for 60 years. I'm the very first person in my family to go through a divorce. And so I carried for a long time, after going through therapy, self-evaluation, a sense of, I've got to get this right. I got to get it right. And my mother's called me every week. Where we at? What we doing? Where you at? What you gonna do? So I am not anti marriage, but I had to get some things right in me. And I was not in the place to be that person because I had really some maturing, some developing to do, some seasoning, and some spiritual growth that my position didn't give me, my pedigree didn't give me, my background didn't give me. But your maturation into manhood is not at 18 or 21. I had to go through some processes to know what you're asking. What do I want? Where do I want to be? What do I want to model to my children? And I am just now getting to a place of feeling confident of the man that I am supposed to be. I can't look for who the woman is supposed to be if I don't know who it is that I am. And I'm just getting to that. You done throw me all the way off.
No, this was so good. Get my phone. That's awesome. This is so good because for you to be able to be transparent and speak like that as a very powerful, astute man who understands scripture and judgment and all of that, you said something that most men won't admit. Most men want to blame the woman. And I'm not gonna go too deep with you. I'm gonna say this for Pillow Talk, but I just want to say one thing that we gotta address at Pillow Talk.
All right.
And I'm not you, so I could be wrong. And this is something
Yes.
that I believe.
Yes.
I believe that the male transition happens through the woman that he selects in his life. I believe that, for example, Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden,
Yes.
Eve did get Adam to eat the apple.
Yes.
Even though he was told not to do it. She was so good, she got him to do what he was not supposed to do, and he knew he wasn't supposed to do it. So I believe
I'm gonna switch that back on the man, Stormy, because he failed to appropriately pastor her. He had a church with one member. His only responsibility was to disciple her. He was to have dominion over snakes and giraffes and gorillas, but he was supposed to disciple his wife. Whoever comes into your life, Stormy, has got to pour something into you.
Sure.
He's got, it's not always on who makes the most, who's been the most places, who has more degrees. Can you pour into me? And he was so enthralled with his position that he forgot to pastor his woman. And so the question that we got to ask for, I put it back on Eve, is while she's out there, where is he? How come he did not give her the tools that were necessary, watch this, Stormy, to talk to God for herself? She had never had a conversation with God. She had only talked to Adam. And something has to happen is, you can sleep with me, but can you pray with me? Can you fast with me? Can you show me what it is that you do to get close to God? You are Coach Stormy. Whoever man is in your life has got to be three things. They got to be your coach, they got to be your quarterback, and they got to be your cheerleader. Last, they got to be your fan. Whoever's coming into your life 4 days before Valentine's Day, that man or that woman has got to be your coach, got to be your quarterback, got to be your cheerleader, and got to be your fan. What does that mean? The coach is the person who shows you the play, shows you the diagram. The quarterback is the one who throws you the ball because they believe that you are competent to run it, that you can handle it, and that you can manage it. The cheerleader only comes out. Hear this. You only need cheerleaders when you're losing the game. You don't need cheerleaders when you're up. You need somebody, 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? You need somebody who's going to pump you up. You can do this. You got it in you. I know you can. And you need a fan. Somebody who is excited when you win. Excited, not jealous, not envious, not scheming, not plotting. But you did this. You closed that deal. You got this bank. You get ready to get this promotion. You got a raise. You got another check. Can you cheer for me? Hear this. When you ain't on the field. Part of the problem that we got is that we think, and we've taken scripture out of context, of not equally yoked. Being equally yoked does not mean y'all make the same amount of money. Being equally yoked does not mean that both of y'all got degrees. Being equally yoked means that you all have the same vibration of faith, that y'all move at the same level of expectation, that you all are moving at the same degree of belief system? Are we equally yoked in that matter? Because when we are connected and we are one, as the Bible says, it ain't your money. It ain't my money. It's our money. But we are not running teams. We're running intramural sports. And in intramural sports, I'm doing my thing over there and you doing your thing over there. Can you build the team even if y'all play two different positions?
Wow. I mean, hold on, wait a minute. That's you know what? I'm gonna tell you that's really good. And you not me. I'm in a relationship. I think you're gonna really like this guy.
Oh, I'm gonna meet him. Tell him I'm coming.
I almost
Tell
said
him
you're
he
gonna like
got to
this
come
one.
by your brother. I'm coming.
Listen, I almost
Look,
said you're gonna like this one.
I saw him on Instagram. I said, Stormy ain't called me yet, but I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait till I get to Florida. I said, Stormy knows she's supposed to call her brother first. But you know what? Go public without calling me. I'm gonna wait till I meet him.
You gonna like him, and you know what? You just got me even more excited because he's all of that. He's all of that, and he's been trying to date me since for 20 years. Like I've been knowing him for that long, and he didn't give up. So yes, definitely fan quarterback.
Tell him me and him going to breakfast Saturday morning.
Yes. Okay. You gonna appreciate him. You're gonna appreciate him for real.
All right.
So thank you for that. I got a couple more questions. We got like 15 more minutes with you. We gonna.
Okay, but before you go to them questions, I got to go to 2 points that you raised that I said I had to go to.
Okay.
Data Stormy says that the average Black person post high school doesn't even read a full nonfiction book a year. A year post school. So I don't want you to run past some. You said two things that messed me up. Is you talked about how you read every day, that you're investing in yourself. My dad gave me a principle that I wanted your platform to hear. He taught my sister and I to do a 10-10-80 program. The 10-10-80 program, and you touched on it, is tithe 10%, invest 10%, and live off of your 80. Stormy, a lot of people see your bags, see the ring, see the cars, but you said something that I can't let you go past. You said you invested $250,000 on self-education. That there's not a day that you are not reading, you're not learning, you're not consuming. And I need you to stay right there for just one moment. I'm begging you, please, to talk about how important, how critical it is. It ain't that you just charismatic. It ain't that you are extrovert. It's not that you just a people person, but you have formulated a discipline in learning, a discipline in achievement. And I need people to understand that because they're seeing the material stuff and losing what is happening behind the scenes. I want you to talk about your reading regimen and how you got to that by yourself.
Oh, wow. So, I mean, it's a few things. I would say, first of all, I believe that everybody has a formula to them. Everything has a formula. This chair has a formula. This phone has a formula. The internet, the Wi-Fi wasn't working good because the formula wasn't connected in my closet. So I have a formula and I live my life on the formula. The F is faith. The O is oneness. The R is routine. The M is manifestation. The U is don't forget you. The L is love, and the A is activate. And so when I wake up in the morning, I'm up like 7 o'clock in the morning. But before I get out of my bed, I'm listening to some type of audiobook.
Wow.
Whether it's Think and Grow Rich, whether it's The Science of Getting Rich, whether it's the 10X Rule, whether it's Miles Monroe. I'm on every morning before I hit the floor, my feet. I know something I didn't know the day before. Every single day. Every day. Then after that, I go right into meditation. My spiritual time is all day. I believe that prayer is living like God. I pray through my actions. I live a very principle-based life. I still curse, Pastor. I still curse. I smoke my Stormation. I do my CBD. You could pray. Go ahead. Do it all that. Pray.
You're going to make us go into a whole nother show, Stormy. Go ahead.
But I do the things that I need to feel good. I work out. If I don't work out, I'm thrown off. I work out every day. I drink water. I take my supplements. But I believe that every day is a new day to get closer to where you see yourself. I believe that you put yourself where you see yourself. I believe that we have the same 24 hours as a billionaire and as a beggar. And my goal is to be a billionaire. So my mind does not know how to acquire these things. So if I knew how to do it, I would already be there. My biggest year, I did 20, my biggest year, Pastor, I did 20 million my biggest year.
Wow.
Right. And I'm grateful, but I'm not satisfied. I'm just not
Wow.
satisfied. I have a big appetite for success and to be the example for the culture.
Let me tell you that that's the best thing I done heard of. I'm grateful, but I'm not satisfied. I'm
Yes.
preaching that soon. Go ahead.
Yeah, I am. And
That's
I
good.
literally, I set myself up so good. Like for real, I make like on a bad month, like $500,000 in passive, but outside of my network marketing business, outside of my MLM company, I
Yes.
make like on a bad month, $500,000 outside of network marketing.
Wow.
So I don't have to work for money no more. I work for
Yes.
impact. So I
Wow.
cannot impact if I don't have no intellect.
Mm.
So I know that. And I want people to meet me. And when they meet me, they like, dang, she not the same person she was. I don't
Right.
want you to meet me and be like, oh, she the same. I want to look the same. I'll be 42 in 11 days, by the way. I'm getting grown.
I'm proud of you.
Can you
You
believe
look
it?
amazing.
But I want you to meet me. And every time you meet me, you got to know me, because my mind is always elevating. And I want to be able to have intellectual conversations with meaning and with intention.
Yes.
And so I listen to people that have what I don't have. You know what I mean? And a lot of us, we don't do that. So I figure out who's winning in a particular area. Like right now, I am engaged very deeply in Grant Cardone, Elena Cardone, the 10X family.
Wow.
Everything that he
Yes.
stands for, he's a billionaire. He owns a massive real estate portfolio. He has a beautiful wife, beautiful kids. So he is my person that I'm listening to, my mentor right now, you
I
know,
love
and
it.
his wife. So
Yes.
I feel like we don't do that. We think that we are as far as we could go from traditional education. But if it was up to traditional education, I would still be on Section 8 and food stamps. I dropped out of school in the 9th grade.
Right.
And I feel as if, and this is no disrespect to the educators, because we do need traditional education. My son is going to school tomorrow. But I want to be a billionaire. I want to leave a legacy. I want to be the example for the culture. And if I go and get a traditional education, that is preparing me to live a traditional lifestyle. And everything that I do, I mean, I don't know any black girl from network marketing and a businesswoman that owns her own plane. I will be the first that I know with my story, high school dropout. So I take pride and joy in being that story that you could tell at your dinner table of no, you can have no excuse. Like you can have no excuse. If Stormy can do it, you can do it. I take pride in knowing that no excuse and Stormy could be used in the same sentence.
I love it. I love it. Did you ever know you were my hero? You done inspired me tonight. I got to do more.
You know what? And here's the thing that I hate to say for the culture. We have to do more of the right things. If you give a man a fish, you eat for a day. But if you teach a man to fish, he eats for a lifetime. Like, we got to stop just donating our time to things that doesn't lead to our destiny. And I'm sorry, I am a businesswoman. Like, I like business. I like economics. Like, you like politics and religion.
Yes.
I like economics and freedom.
George Frazier said this, Stormy, that you had to. He said, if you give a person a fish, they'll eat that day. Teach them how to fish, they'll eat for a lifetime. But nobody ever taught us we can buy the lake. Ooh. And I think that's what we got to be, so other people can come and go fishing.
Dude. And so for me, I believe in partnering with people like you. You understand? Collaboration is the new currency. I don't want to be you at all. Like, I don't even want to be you for a week, a day. Right. But I want you to be you, and I want me to be me, and we collaborate, and we create more kingdom business, more, you know, I call it pastor shift. I mean, to tell you today, yes. I want to see you not just pastorship, but I want you to be a pastor shift.
Right.
You shift the way pastors look at life. Like TD Jakes, to me, is one of the best that ever done it.
Absolutely.
He's a great businessman.
He is.
And what's wrong with that? Why did the church? And here's my question now. So I know you got one more question for me. You said.
Yeah. No. Go ahead.
Why? And I hope your people don't get me. And if they do, I'm sorry. Forgive me, Lord. Why is the church so judgmental when it comes to money. Like, why you come to church with a Gucci suit on or a nice watch, and you got to explain to the people why you look like that? Like, why does the church look down on wealth? The black
Because
church.
we've not taught wealth. I often say to the members of New Birth, something is wrong with the church if I ask you to give your 10%, but never show you how to multiply your 90. Our responsibility is not just to collect the tithe, but enrich the body so that they can, in fact, do more for the kingdom, more for themselves, more for legacy. We have built to a place where we are able to say to them, GoFundMe is not a retirement plan. You got to have health insurance. Yes, we believe that God is a doctor, but you got to be able to afford your medication. And I think part of it is an absence of knowledge from the pulpit, because a lot of pastors don't know to teach it, don't know how to move in that realm. I often tell people that I move around economic development because I saw my dad, who is the most noble, virtuous, humble, integrous man of God I've ever met, who missed wealth opportunities because he didn't know. My dad, Stormy, used to live in Texas, and the chairman of the board for Southwest Airlines lived a couple of blocks down from him. Came to my dad's house one day, never met my dad, knocked on the door and says, "Hey, I got a company. I'm getting ready to go public, and I need a black person on the board." My dad told him, "Ain't nobody gonna get on no airplane with people wearing khakis, where you picking your own seat. That ain't going nowhere." At that time, Stormy, Southwest was just in Texas.
Oh,
But he didn't have the mind to know that it was going to go national.
wow.
But when you have those kind of opportunities, you got to make up in your mind, you got to go further than your parents. God is a God of generation. That whenever God introduces himself, watch how he introduces himself as the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Your responsibility is always, as a believer, to leave a legacy for 2 generations coming behind you. When you leave a legacy, then the kids ain't got to fight over grandma wanted me to have a fur, that I'm supposed to have a hat, that I'm supposed to have a wedding ring. When you leave that legacy, Proverbs says that it's a wise man that leaves an inheritance for their children. And so that's why, Stormy, we opened up, next time you come to Atlanta, I got to take you. We opened up on Black Friday, the new Black Wall Street Market, where we're the first Black mall in America with 100 Black-owned stores under one roof. Nowhere else in America is that, but right here in Atlanta, in Stonecrest, Georgia. We got
Wow,
to do
where?
that it's 5 minutes from the church. I'm gonna take you as soon as you get off your private plane. I'm taking you. We opened it on Good Friday. It's open now. 100 Black-owned businesses in one roof. It's the new Black Wall Street Market. Those of you who live in Atlanta, surrounding areas, go look it up. It's New Black Wall Street Market. NBWSM.com. NBWSM.com. It is open right now. 100 Black vendors. A lot of them have moved from out of town just so that they could have a business under it. But I think that that's the job of the church. Part of the responsibility, Stormy, that I made is that in opening this mall, 10% of the vendors have got to be members of my church. That if I am not raising and cultivating entrepreneurs and business owners and independent wealth carriers, then I am not really doing the work. A bag don't mean nothing. Shoes don't mean nothing. Because a lot of people who have that don't have nothing in their savings account, don't have a 401k, don't have an IRA, don't have a portfolio. And we got to move to a place that we understand that wealth is not in what you wear. Wealth is in what it is that you own.
Wow, wow, wow. You said a lot, and I definitely would love to visit that establishment. I would
You
love
got to come. You got to come, and you got to open up a store in there. We're going to talk about it afterwards. You
for
got to
sure.
come see
I
it.
would love to do that.
Yeah, we'll arrange for you to come do a pop-up one weekend.
I had no idea. Yes, yes. So
that means we got to talk more than 3 times a year.
Yes, for sure, for sure. Well, man, you said a lot, Pastor, and I just want to say, like, it is an honor to know you. I remember you were the first person to put me on a panel I was about maybe 32 years old. No, I was like 30. I was like 30
Yes,
years
sir.
old. And it was
Yeah.
a panel about relationships.
Yep.
And I remember that. And it was like, why are you single and successful?
Yes.
Successful and single.
That's right.
I get to
That's
get
right.
you back. So I got you back tonight.
I'm gonna go find the video so you
Yes.
can have it in your archives.
I remember that. Thank you. And I just want to say thank you for being just real. You know, as a pastor, you still to me represent the Black man. You have your own trials and tribulations. You
Yes.
grow, you fight, you don't give up. You're transparent. You opened up with how you went through a depression. And
Yeah.
I was watching you today, and I put a video on my page because I just want people to get familiar with you, because my audience don't really know you. Like, they don't
Right.
know you. You know, you think they
Right.
do, because I'm a Black
Right.
woman and they don't know who you are. And I'm like, what do you mean y'all don't know Dr. Jamal Bryant? They're like, we're
Right.
excited about this. And so for you to be who you are and for you to open up with just transparency, I think that, you know, there's so many other people that's going to watch this live and be inspired by your truth, inspired by who you are. I watched the sermon that you preached, I think it was Sunday, and it was just speaking to me. And I'm like, man,
Wow.
I need to watch more virtual churches. So how do we watch you virtually on a Sunday or Wednesday or whenever?
Yes. So go to New Birth, wearenewbirth.org, or go to Facebook or to YouTube, find New Birth, and you'll be able to watch it, or on any of my platforms, Jamal Bryant, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, and you'll be able to worship with us. I don't want us to close without us opening the door to the awakening. Tell people how they can register so they can come hang out with us and know what all this talking is all about.
Oh my God. Yes, so much. Thank you. So much is going to happen, y'all, at the Awakening. Many of y'all have came to the Awakenings in the past. You know, last year we had, of course, an incredible lineup. We had Miss Bling, Anetta, you know, Elena Cardone, billionaires herself. And I decided to do this one time a year, guys. Not twice, but one time. So we're having the hottest lineup this year. And it's just my calling. Like, I feel responsible for bringing my community together and giving them everything they need in a weekend. So we have the Awakening Pillow Talk on Friday. Saturday, we're going through the whole manual. You're going to have your own personal blueprint to knowing yourself, loving yourself, and embracing yourself. And on Saturday, we got Rick Ross speaking and performing that night at our VIP dinner. Just imagine seeing a bunch of quote-unquote minorities dressed up looking like the majority. That's what I say on Saturday. And then on Sunday is going to be another incredible day. We got Real Talk Kim coming back, bringing her ministry. She's now newly divorced. She's just reinvigorated, a new woman. You can see the light shining from her. Of course, Dr. Jamal Bryant going to leave us on Sunday because he got to go to church.
It's my anniversary. I got to go to my anniversary.
You got to go to your anniversary, but we're going to have...
I'm coming back Sunday night. I'm coming back.
Oh my, don't say that. We're gonna have him Friday and Saturday, guys. I got an incredible lineup, and you know that you need a new environment. If you know you need a new environment, new information, networking, just a new way of thinking. And trust me, it's things that you don't even know that you don't know, that you're in a room, that you absorb information, and it changes your entire life. Just same way this conversation tonight, I know it changed your life, okay? I want you to join us at the Awakening. Here's the catch. We got less than 100 seats left. Less than 100 seats left for a 600 capacity room. So go right now. There it is. It's pinned at the bottom. And if you want to watch virtually, we right now have the virtual experience with a bunch of free packages in that same package bundle for $97. So guys, go right there to ghmhevent.com. I encourage you to come and meet some new people, get around a new environment, and let's grow together. Here's my thing. If we can't grow together, why should we go together? All right. New rules. So thank you so much, Pastor. I appreciate all that you stand for. We're going to be tuned in on Sunday.
Thank you.
And I can't wait to see you at the Awakening. I can't wait to introduce you to my God and my peoples. I love you for everything that you stand for. Have a great night, and God bless you.
Love you to life. Loan me $5. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.